It's raining. I'm in my car. I'm loving it. And I was just thinking about themes that have been coming up this week with clients. And also, you might know I'm teaching mindfulness classes for elementary school children. And it's interesting that the same themes that are coming up with my adult clients are coming up with them as well. And that's with the topic of roles, that we assign roles to ourselves. And when we do that, then we believe them. We believe that this is what it is, and there's nothing that can be done about it. So an example of that is one of my students has, many of my students have ADD, ADHD, and my clients have ADD, have anxiety, have depression, and even just in other things in conversation, they say, well, I'm just a type A personality. And I say it too. I say it all the time. I say I'm a Virgo, right? And that means I'm a perfectionist. So I assign a label to myself. And what that does is it finalizes it. Basically, because this is the role I've assigned to myself, that's it. I have no more work to do, and that is what it is. And that's limiting, right? It limits what we actually can do. Because I've had a student where in the very beginning of class, they told me, I have ADHD and I can't focus. And they assigned themselves that. They said, I cannot focus, therefore I will not focus, and it's just not within my capacity. And we end up doing a mindfulness practice, and we do art therapy and art expression. And that student sat silent and did work for 35 minutes straight. Silence. Uninterrupted. And I went to that student and I tapped that student on the shoulder and I said, hey, remember that time you told me you can't focus and you can't pay attention to the stuff I'm going to teach you? You just sat here for 35 minutes. And she looked up at me and looked at the clock and she began to cry. And she said, I can't focus. And I said, but you just did. And that was very empowering for her because she was convinced there was something that she can't do. Therefore, she didn't have to try it. Now, I understand, yes, those are real, clinical diagnoses, and yes, you cannot focus for extended. But perhaps the thing you're assigning to yourself, you have to get creative, right, in figuring out the solution. And there's different shapes and forms of these solutions, right? Because I'm a perfectionist, I have to do extra work to make sure everything is perfect. Why? Why do I have to do that? How can I work to accept what's in front of me versus what I want it to be? Changing my expectations for that, right? Changing the role assignment that you're doing. Well, what was the last one my client told me? That it's more personality ones, right? I always think about worst case scenario. That's what they say. So then they convince themselves and that's where they go. Or I'm an all or nothing person. So they assign their personalities to be very extreme. The point is, catch what are these rules that you're assigning yourself, and what does that mean? Now that I've assigned this role to myself, I don't have to work any harder to change it. And it is what it is, and this is how limiting I am. But is that in fact true? Or is that something that you can shift because it will serve you, right? Limiting that and staying in the same place without movement, without action, without changing it may not be serving you. Try it out. I'm gonna go enjoy this rain. Bye.